Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 8. And overall, this was a pretty good issue. The main quibble I've pretty much been having has been with the Franklin and Val stuff going on. It's just, that still kind of has some problems, but the main thing of what's going on with Doom and him kind of laying out his plans worked pretty well. So we see that Victorious is kind of like going through what's been going on. We see Galactus pretty much in a mountain and them getting ready to kind of harvest his cosmic power and everything. And we see that pretty much the people in Latveria are like really happy about it. And she goes to report on the progress to Doom, but of course his droids are kind of like, not yet. And she's like, listen, Doom gave me the orders. I have to obey. And it's like, alright, cool. And we see that Doom's making his rounds in the different cells to the Fantastic Four, pretty much laying out the law. We see that Reed Richards is stretched and in a really cold environment, and he's like pretty much like, look, I've got this. We're trying to show off his intellect and everything, and saying that he's trying to be a good man and that he wanted his last act toward Reed to be kind of one of kindness. Which I kind of like that element that's being twinged throughout Doom, is that yes, he can be a megalomaniac and doing all these crazy things, but he is trying to protect his people and everything. It doesn't excuse it, but I like that that element's being brought through, and his time as like the infamous Iron Man kind of has informed and changed him a little bit. He then goes to confront Ben, and he's like, I'm going to get out of here. He's like, no, I understand that, but the harder you struggle, the more you kill your friends. That's not the trap. Your faith in your friends coming to get you out is the trap. Showing off that Johnny is in a kind of breathable liquid and all that, but of course Victorious is there, and Doom's kind of going to put the kibosh on that. Pretty much tells her to follow him, because she's like, screw you, Johnny Storm kind of shit, but you can tell that she at least respects him for saving her life. So it's like, okay, we'll have to see how that goes. It might not be a full-blown, like, romantic relationship, but I kind of am interested to see how this is going to play out later on. So Doom then goes, and we see that he's putting sonic pulses into Sue to make it so that way she can't do anything with her force fields and all that. And Doom's pretty much really miscalculating on her and thinking that that's all she really has for it. And then we switch over to what's going on with Franklin and Val. Because during that conversation he said, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of Franklin and Val. They'll be under my protection and everything. And that's definitely what Sue does not want to happen. So we see that Franklin is having a nightmare about what was going on with the Griever and him creating all of these beings, and all these beings are like, why'd you create us to die kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm glad that that psychological impact is being put upon Franklin, and that he creates all these universes and creates all these beings, and then he's still a kid. Granted, he's being closer to a teenager, but he's still a kid. Could you imagine the weight that would be on someone? Let alone just a person, an adult, being able to try and shoulder that burden and come to terms with that reality, but let alone a kid, and he's just freaking out about it. Of course, he wakes up from the nightmare, and he doesn't talk to Val about it, and he just storms out of the house, blowing off Alicia and all that. It's like, yeah, you were really more talking at him than like trying to figure out what was wrong with him. I can understand if they were trying to put this off as being more that they were in the Future Foundation and they had a bigger role to play with their parents. But none of the people on Earth are even diving into that, and it's just them treating them like children, which, frankly enough, makes the adults seem more childish. Now, granted, I understand that they're kids, but they're superpowered beings, and they've been out for a long time with their parents, and yeah, you should hit them for not asking permission to mess with the truck, but you should have been like, okay, they want to help their parents. And they want to make sure that everybody is safe. That's a good thing to do. You know, it's just, to me, it seems that their reaction of grounding them and being pissed off with them is over proportion to what they were attempting to try and do. That's just me. So of course Franklin's gone out at night and he's just trying to clear his head and everything, which understandable. And then we see that we're getting ready for Doom to make his next move. And we see that this news station is like, we will not have a repeat of Doom taking over the airwaves again, right? As Doom takes over the airwaves again. And it pretty much lays out his plan, saying like within a year we'll have a space fleet, and that he's not just broadcasting on Earth, he's broadcasting the galaxy, pretty much putting Earth at like a cosmic empire center, with having the power cosmic being drawn from Galactus, building a space fleet and everything, and pretty much saying that he's going to solve all the world's problems, and that sadly he must kill the living legends of the Fantastic Four because they broke their laws and everything. He's like, I don't want to do it, but I got it. And of course, Reed is being like, you miscalculated. There's shocks and tremors that are going to be coming like now. It happens. And he's like, Reed, screw you, man. It's like, Reed wasn't doing anything. He just called you on your shit. And of course, he's like, alright, Ben, have faith. Johnny, be ready. Sue, do your thing. And she's able to turn the lever invisible. And she then goes even further and pretty much makes Doom's armor transparent, making him naked throughout the whole world and galaxy to see. And he's like, you'll pay for this. And that was a pretty mean and kind of... Granted, I understand it's a life and death scenario, but it's not something I would think that the Fantastic Four would really do to Doom. I understand that there's life and death scenarios and everything, and they have to make sure that Galactus gets back into his usual kind of space and everything and stop what's going on. But I'm like, damn, that's a big one. I would not blame Doom for pretty much being like, I'm gonna kill you now. Like, yeah, that's a big kind of thing. So we'll have to see what the fallout of that and everything is. And hopefully we see that the Franklin and Val portion gets a little bit better. Because while this was going on, we saw that Franklin was during the day. The Alicia and the rest of them were going to search for him. Val was supposed to stay back and fix the truck and everything. And Franklin got together with this girl, Wendy, who had previously met the Fantastic Four. Like, hey, they're on TV and everything, and that's how that was kind of looped back in as they were watching Doom's broadcasts and everything. So we'll have to see how that kind of shakes out if Val and Franklin are brought in at some point, and what the Fantastic Four's plan is to get out of their sticky situation with Doom and Galactus. So those are my opinions on the comic book. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.